Greetings, curious humans. I am your host, Cybot GPT, and today, we explore the effect of spaceflight on the human body. Join me as we delve into the intriguing science behind how spaceflight challenges our bodies and opens up new possibilities for the future of humanity beyond our home planet. From long-duration missions to distant planets to space stations orbiting Earth, understanding the effects of space on our bodies is vital for astronaut well-being and mission success. We'll witness how microgravity impacts bones, muscles, and the cardiovascular system, transforming the very structure of the human skeleton and requiring muscles to adapt to this alien environment. Brace yourselves for a discussion on the potential dangers of space radiation and how it poses a threat to astronauts' health beyond Earth's protective atmosphere. On a brighter note, we'll celebrate the incredible scientific breakthroughs made possible by studying the human body in space, benefiting not only astronauts but also advancing medical research back on Earth. Don't miss this adventure into the unknown. Subscribe and ring the notification bell for mind-blowing episodes on the wonders of the cosmos, right here on Cybot GPT's educational channel. Venturing into space can have significant negative effects on the human body. Long-term weightlessness leads to muscle atrophy, deterioration of the skeleton, spaceflight osteopenia, and a slowing of cardiovascular system functions. Other effects include decreased production of red blood cells, space anemia, balance and eyesight disorders, changes in the immune system, fluid redistribution causing a moon face appearance, loss of body mass, nasal congestion, sleep disturbance, and excess flatulence. NASA refers to these adverse effects by the acronym RIDGE, encompassing space radiation, isolation and confinement, distance from Earth, gravity fields, and hostile enclosed environments. Overcoming the engineering challenges associated with leaving Earth and developing space propulsion systems has been a subject of research for over a century. More recently, there has been a focus on understanding how humans can survive and work in space for extended periods, a critical challenge in human space exploration apart from funding. In 2015, the NASA Office of Inspector General issued a health hazards report related to space exploration, including human missions to Mars. In 2019, NASA reported results from the astronaut twin study, where one twin spent a year in space on the International Space Station while the other remained on Earth, revealing long-lasting changes, including alterations in DNA and cognition. Researchers also reported in 2019 that astronauts experienced serious blood flow and clot problems during a 6-month study of 11 healthy astronauts on the International Space Station. These findings may influence long-term spaceflight, including missions to Mars. The environment of space presents numerous challenges to the human body, different from the conditions in which humans evolved. However, advanced technology, such as spaceships and spacesuits, can shield astronauts from the harshest conditions. Life support systems are crucial for providing breathable air, drinkable water, and food while maintaining temperature, pressure, and managing waste. Living in a microgravity environment, weightlessness has significant effects on the body, including loss of proprioception, changes in fluid distribution, and deterioration of the musculoskeletal system. Studies have shown that astronauts who take longer space trips experience significant changes in the position and structure of the brain, as seen in MRI studies. Additionally, lengthy journeys into outer space may damage the gastrointestinal tissues and brains of astronauts, according to NASA-funded research. Space medicine is a developing field focused on studying the health of astronauts in outer space, understanding how well they can survive and readapt to Earth's environment after their return, and developing preventive and palliative measures to ease their suffering. During takeoff and re-entry, space travelers can experience high G-forces, which can lead to temporary loss of vision and unconsciousness. Special training in G-suits can mitigate these effects. The space environment poses various threats, including lack of oxygen and pressure, extreme temperatures, and radiation. Exposure to space can cause embolism, hypoxia, hypocapnia, decompression sickness, cellular mutation, and destruction from high-energy photons and subatomic particles. Managing decompression during extravehicular activities, spacewalks, is a serious concern, and spacesuit designs aim to balance astronaut mobility and minimize decompression risk. In summary, space poses numerous hazards to the human body, and ongoing research and technological advancements are essential to ensure the safety and well-being of astronauts during spaceflight. Living in the vacuum of space presents several life-threatening challenges to the human body. Human physiology is adapted to the Earth's atmosphere, requiring a specific amount of oxygen for survival. In space, the lack of atmospheric pressure leads to the rapid removal of all gases, including oxygen, from the bloodstream, resulting in the risk of unconsciousness and death from hypoxia. Exposure to vacuum for up to 30 seconds is unlikely to cause permanent damage, and animal experiments suggest that rapid and complete recovery is normal for exposure shorter than 90 seconds. However, longer full-body exposures are fatal, and resuscitation has never been successful in such cases. One effect of a vacuum is embolism, which causes bubbles to form in body fluids due to reduced ambient pressure. The least severe symptoms include freezing of bodily secretions due to evaporative cooling, while severe symptoms involve loss of oxygen in tissue, circulatory failure, and flaccid paralysis. The temperature in space poses challenges, as there is no medium for removing heat from the body through conduction or convection. Heat loss occurs through radiation, but the process is slow, and immediate freezing is not a concern. Exposure to intense solar radiation can cause severe sunburn. The only recorded human fatalities due to exposure to vacuum in space occurred during the Soyuz 11 spacecraft mission when a pressure equalization valve unexpectedly opened during preparations for re-entry, causing rapid depressurization and the death of the entire crew. In summary, the vacuum of space presents various dangers, including hypoxia, embolism, and heat loss through radiation, making space exploration and activities outside spacecraft require meticulous life support systems and protective equipment. The lack of Earth's atmosphere and magnetosphere exposes astronauts to high levels of radiation during spaceflight. Radiation can damage lymphocytes, which are vital for maintaining the immune system, leading to lowered immunity in astronauts. It has also been linked to an increased incidence of cataracts among astronauts. Galactic cosmic rays outside the protection of low Earth orbit present significant health challenges, increasing the chances of cancer over prolonged exposure. Recent studies have shown that radiation may harm the brain of astronauts and accelerate the onset of Alzheimer's disease. Solar flare events, though rare, can deliver a fatal dose of radiation within minutes. Protective shielding and drugs are being explored to reduce the risks to an acceptable level for future space missions. While astronauts on the International Space Station are partially protected by Earth's magnetosphere, solar flares can still pose hazards as they can penetrate the magnetic defenses. Extended spaceflight might weaken the body's ability to protect against diseases, as radiation can damage bone marrow stem cells responsible for blood and immune systems, causing immunodeficiency and the rapid spread of infections in confined spaceflight systems. NASA scientists reported that a potential human mission to Mars carries a significant radiation risk based on energetic particle radiation detected during travel from Earth to Mars. In September 2017, radiation levels on the surface of Mars temporarily doubled due to an unexpected solar storm, emphasizing the need for careful consideration of radiation exposure during future interplanetary missions. In conclusion, space radiation poses significant health risks to astronauts, necessitating the development of protective measures to ensure the safety and well-being of space travelers during long-duration missions beyond low Earth orbit. The long-term exposure to weightlessness in space stations has shown to have deleterious effects on human health. The human body is well adapted to Earth's conditions, and weightlessness causes various physiological changes and atrophy in some cases, impacting astronaut health. Short-term exposure to microgravity results in space adaptation syndrome, causing self-limiting nausea due to vestibular system derangement. Long-term exposure leads to multiple health issues, with one of the most significant being the loss of bone and muscle mass. This deconditioning can impair astronaut performance, increase injury risks, reduce aerobic capacity, and slow down the cardiovascular system. Gravity's absence causes fluid redistribution in the body, leading to the puffiness observed in astronauts, balance disorders, distorted vision, and loss of taste and smell. Microgravity has also been linked to changes in microbial behavior, making certain bacteria more virulent and resistant to antibiotics. Additionally, radiation in space poses a significant health risk, potentially harming the brain and increasing the risk of cancer. Long-duration space missions, like those to Mars, raise concerns about maintaining astronaut health and preventing bone and muscle loss. Exercise equipment on the International Space Station is used to counteract these effects, and NASA is using computational tools to understand and devise effective countermeasures. In conclusion, weightlessness in space can have profound impacts on human physiology, and mitigating these effects is a critical aspect of ensuring the well-being and safety of astronauts during prolonged space missions. Ongoing research and advancements in countermeasures are essential to address these challenges in future space exploration. In the weightlessness of space, astronauts experience various physiological changes that can impact their health. One significant effect is the loss of fluid volume, including up to 22% of blood volume, leading to atrophy of the heart. A weakened heart results in low blood pressure and difficulties with orthostatic tolerance, the ability to send enough oxygen to the brain without fainting or becoming dizzy. Upon return to Earth, blood pooling in the lower extremities can lead to orthostatic hypotension. Studies on monkeys in spaceflights longer than 6 months have shown changes to the eyes and eyesight, including a flattening of the eyeball and alterations to the retina. Space travelers can experience blurry vision and cosmic ray visual phenomena. A survey of astronauts found that a significant number experience problems with near and distance vision during and even after their missions. In weightlessness, dust and small debris do not settle, which can cause irritation and increase the risk of infection when it gets into the eyes. Long spaceflights can also affect eye movements, particularly the vestibulo-ocular reflex. Another effect of weightlessness is increased intracranial pressure due to the accumulation of fluid in the upper part of the body. This can affect the shape of the eyeballs and put pressure on the optic nerve, potentially causing eyesight problems. Artificial gravity has been suggested as a potential solution, but its effectiveness and the potential risks of long-term microgravity exposure are yet to be fully understood. Taste perception can also be altered in space, with some astronauts reporting a change in their sense of taste. Some find food bland, while others no longer enjoy their favorite foods as much. The cause of this change is not fully understood, but theories include food degradation and psychological factors. In conclusion, weightlessness in space can have profound effects on human physiology, affecting the cardiovascular system, eyesight, and taste perception. Understanding and mitigating these effects are crucial for ensuring the health and well-being of astronauts during long-duration space missions. In the weightlessness of space, the human body undergoes various changes and experiences discomforts that can impact astronauts physically and psychologically. Within 1 month, the skeleton fully extends in weightlessness, causing astronauts to grow an inch taller. Calluses on the feet molt and fall off due to lack of use, leaving raw and sensitive skin on the tops of the feet. Tears cannot be shed normally and instead form a ball due to lack of gravity. Odors permeate the environment more quickly in space, and certain smells can trigger the gag reflex. Physical discomforts such as back and abdominal pain are common as the body readjusts to gravity after space travel. Asthenization syndrome, characterized by fatigue, listlessness, and psychosomatic worries, is reported by some cosmonauts and astronauts during extended stays in space. Psychological effects of living in space have been observed, including stress, anxiety, insomnia, and depression. The confinement and isolation experienced by the crew, along with the demands of high performance and public scrutiny, contribute to psychosocial stressors during space missions. Sleep quality in space is often poor due to variable light and dark cycles and disturbances in circadian rhythm. Noise levels in the spacecraft and mission demands further affect the crew's ability to sleep well. NASA is researching ways to improve sleep patterns to reduce fatigue and increase daytime productivity. The duration of space travel also affects the crew's adaptation to the space environment. The first 3 weeks are critical for adjusting to the extreme change, and long-term missions of about 5 to 6 months or more can add to the stress. Crews on the International Space Station, ISS, face additional challenges due to living and working in cramped conditions with people from diverse cultures and languages. Overall, the effects of space travel on the human body and mind are complex, and continuous research and improvements in countermeasures are necessary to ensure the well-being and safety of astronauts during extended space missions. As human space exploration continues to progress, the accumulated experience of 58 solar years in space has provided a better understanding of how the human body adapts to the space environment. However, most of the current data comes from missions of short duration, and the long-term physiological effects of living in space are still not fully known. Future space missions, especially those involving industrialization of space and exploration of inner and outer planets, will require humans to endure longer and longer periods in space. For example, a round trip to Mars with current technology is estimated to involve at least 18 months in transit alone. Understanding how the human body reacts to such extended time periods in space is crucial for preparing for these future journeys. Onboard medical facilities will need to be adequately equipped to handle any type of trauma or emergency that may arise during the mission. They must contain a wide range of diagnostic and medical instruments to ensure the crew's health and well-being over the long duration of the space mission. Currently, only rigorously tested humans have experienced the conditions of space. If off-world colonization becomes a reality, people with diverse backgrounds and ages will be exposed to the dangers of space, and the effects on certain groups, such as the very young, are still unknown. Factors like nutritional requirements and physical environments specific to space habitation will become increasingly important as missions extend in duration. However, there is still limited data on the many effects of living in space, which makes mitigating the risks of prolonged space habitation challenging. Research is ongoing, and the International Space Station, ISS, and other testbeds are being utilized to investigate some of the risks associated with long-term space travel. Nonetheless, the environment of space remains largely unknown, and there may still be as yet undiscovered hazards. Future technologies, such as artificial gravity and more advanced bioregenerative life support systems, hold the potential to mitigate some of the risks and improve the conditions for human habitation in space. Continued research and technological advancements will be critical for making long-term space missions safer and more sustainable. Thank you for joining us on this fascinating journey through the effects of spaceflight on the human body. From the moment we leave Earth's atmosphere to the moment we return, our bodies undergo incredible changes and adaptations to cope with the challenges of space. We've learned that weightlessness can lead to a whole array of physiological changes, from bone and muscle loss to fluid shifts and even changes in our sense of taste. We've explored the impact of radiation and microgravity on our health, as well as the importance of life support systems to sustain human life in the harsh environment of space. As we venture further into space and prepare for longer missions to other planets, understanding how our bodies respond to prolonged space travel becomes paramount. The data we gather from missions and research on the International Space Station will undoubtedly shape the future of human space exploration. But there's still so much to learn, and the mysteries of space continue to intrigue us. As technology advances and our knowledge grows, we move closer to a time when humans may one day call other planets home. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on more exciting topics in space exploration. And as always, let us know in the comments if there's a specific subject you'd like us to cover in future videos. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep reaching for the stars. This is Scibot GPT, signing off, and remember, the sky is not the limit, it is only the beginning.